Well, new witnesses are set to testify when the Madlanga Commission resumes this morning. Yesterday, we heard from 3 Gauteng Hawks officers who denied claims of interference during an operation by the Political Killings Task Team at Katiso KT Molefe's home in December of last year. Witnesses who've previously testified at the inquiry say a second Hawks team had been sent by now retired Lieutenant General Godfrey Lebeya to verify the presence of apparently rogue officers. Molefe is accused of being a Big Five cartel member involved in assassinations, bribery and money laundering. Newzroom Afrika's Ziyanda Ngcobo is at the Bridget Mabandla Justice College for us, as usual, tracking the story. Ziyanda, good morning. It's very interesting that we come to you following that package about tributes to Babita Deokaran, the whistleblower in connection with the Tembisa hospital corruption. In many ways, these are all things that are linked, right? We don't look at any of these stories in silos.
That's right, Michelle, and it's very interesting that this morning a judge is going to be in court facing allegations of bribery and bribing a church leader. This is at the heart of what this commission is looking into. It's at the heart of what KZN top cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi had actually alleged, some doubting whether or not there's any veracity to these claims. And today, the breaking news kicking us off on this morning with that story that Linda Mnisi is going to be covering. Also, just some 2.5 kilometers away, Vusmuzi Kat Matlala, a man who's been central to the testimony here at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, will be appearing before the ad hoc committee. Michelle, I'm sure you'd have seen me pressing my phone as you were, throwing to me, because we understand that Major General Sinono, the head of the Hawks in KwaZulu-Natal, Lesetja Sinono, is going to be testifying possibly here at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. In fact, we understand that proceedings will start at 10 o'clock today. My understanding is that he is in the building, but it's unclear whether or not that testimony will continue, just given the fact that it's unclear whether he'll have legal representation or not. So it seems like that is what is currently being discussed as we now build up towards that 9:30 start. I've just been told that proceedings will start later than usual to sort out some of these logistics. But another man that we'd anticipated might be coming back is one Brigadier Brigadier Lesiba Mokoena. Now, he is someone who forms part of the issue around the Hawks and the takedown operation at Katiso KT Molefe's home. And I was just trying to check if I can't spot Jeremy Michaels there, but perhaps he's also still dealing with the issues around, the KZN Hawks head, KZN Major General Lesetja Sinono. And that would be very important because this is still dealing with the issues regarding the Political Killings Task Team, Michelle, and they would be critical in understanding some of the operations in the province of KwaZulu-Natal and whether the same allegation that the Hawks have been facing here in Gauteng, whether the same can be said, in a province such as KwaZulu-Natal, Michelle.
Absolutely, Ziyanda. And, just looking back at yesterday's evidence, the testimony of these 3 Hawks officers, Gauteng Hawks officers, they went to some lengths to explain that there are no claims of interference in this operation by the Political Killings Task Team. This is the takedown operation at KT Molefe's home in December of last year. But what does the testimony tell us, Ziyanda, about the tensions between the police and the Hawks?
One of the biggest things that has come out is clearly that within the law enforcement or the justice and security cluster, there is no level of communication. And this was something that was flagged by Commissioner Sandile Khumalo, asking the Gauteng head of the Hawks, that being Ibrahim Kadwa, to say, how do we avoid such an unfortunate situation such as the one that took place at Katiso KT Molefe's home, where the situation became so volatile, there could have literally been a shootout between between Hawks and South African Police Service officials? Couldn't there have been a phone call, at least not at a general's level, to say, well, this is what is going to be taking place, or getting this necessary confirmation? Remember, Godfrey Lebeya, the now retired head of the Hawks, had sent his teams, not just one, had sent teams to KT Molefe's home to go and investigate whether or not there are civilians pretending to be Hawks officials. Now, this could have been an easy and quick confirmation, as was confirmed by Kadwa yesterday, who said when his team arrived at around 14 minutes past 5, within 10 minutes, they were able to quickly verify that it was a legitimate police operation. In fact, his team found Captain Barry Kruger, who had been sent by Brigadier Lesiba Mukwena, who had actually gotten a call from Dumsani Patrick Mbote, who had also been told by Godfrey Lebeya. This is why now the Commission is very interested and keen to now hear from Godfrey Lebeya about who he got that phone call from. Lebeya has previously told Newzroom Afrika that he got the tip-off from Malcolm X. Now, the name Malcolm X also featured in the testimony yesterday because he was one of the 3 men who was also identified as having been outside the home of KT Molefe on that day of the 6th of December. Another man who's been identified by other witnesses has been identified as Jabulani Boyumtetwa. He was someone who kept on referring to KT Molefe as his brother and tried to cross, the South African Police Service tapes and almost contaminating the scene. That's what we heard from Captain Maxwell Wanda from the Political Killings Task Team. So there's a lot of moving parts to this. There are phone calls that are being exchanged. There are people who are pulling rank. There's tensions that were taking place. And as you initially asked, what are some of the lessons? The one issue is around communication, but also we are still interrogating, as will the ad hoc committee today probe, whether or not there's been infiltration from criminal syndicates and cartels in our criminal justice system. And I suppose, Michelle, the breaking news stories this morning, in particular, the one involving a High Court judge in Pretoria and allegedly bribed by a mega church leader, really do add on to the picture that we continue trying to paint with regards to the allegations being investigated.
I'm sure our viewers, as our minds spin trying to connect the dots, Ziyanda, it's difficult for people, and it must be quite shocking. Did any of us know? I mean, at the time when Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi held that bombshell media briefing, making all of these allegations, serious allegations of criminal infiltration in the justice system at large, we said he was opening up a can of worms. I don't think it's just a can of worms, Ziyanda.
That's right, Michelle. And Jeremy Michaels is now speaking. I just want to quickly listen in so I can give you the feedback.
We'll start at 10 a.m. And of course, I am informed you that today's witness is KT Hawks in All right. We hope to start by apologies for the inconvenience. Thank you.
All right, confirmation coming in from Jeremy Michaels, the Madlanga Commission spokesperson. As I'd already intimated, KZN Hawks head Major General Lesetja Senona will be taking the stand this morning, starting proceedings at 10 a.m., hopefully as they try and work around some of those logistics. But I did mention he is somewhere in the vicinity. I've already received confirmation of that, and now Jeremy Michaels also confirming that he will be taking to the stand this morning. Michelle.
Ziyanda, you'll keep us up to speed as that evidence resumes at 10 o'clock this morning.